Stop everything you're doing right now. I'm about to betray my own gender and reveal the 6 phrases that will make any cheating wife crack like glass and spill every dirty secret she's been hiding from you. These aren't just words, they're psychological weapons that bypass her rational mind and hit her guilt center like a sledgehammer. Your wife thinks she's smarter than you. She thinks her lies are bulletproof. She's wrong, and I'm about to prove it. But before we dive deep into these powerful phrases, I need you to do something important. Hit that like button right now. It tells YouTube that this content matters and helps other men who desperately need to hear this. Brother, this video isn't about anger. It's about control. Mental control. Because when you're dealing with a woman who's betrayed you, the moment you raise your voice, you lose power. The real power move is calm curiosity, the ability to make her feel that you already know without ever saying the word cheating. Every woman who cheats carries 2 selves inside her. The liar and the confessor. One wants to keep control, the other wants to come clean. These 6 phrases are designed to talk directly to that second self. They don't accuse, they awaken. They make her conscience louder than her lies. You see, most men fail here. They try to catch her. They demand proof. They interrogate. But the truth doesn't respond to pressure. It responds to precision. And these phrases are precision strikes, calm, compassionate, devastating. Let me explain the psychology behind this. When you speak without accusation, her brain can't activate defense mode. Instead, it starts processing emotion, guilt, fear, relief all at once. You're not fighting her words anymore. You're fighting her silence. That's where the truth hides. Think of it like this. Her guilt is a dam, and your tone is the first crack. With every calm observation, every patient silence, that dam weakens until the flood starts. And here's the part most men don't realize. Confession isn't about confrontation. It's about invitation. You invite the truth by creating safety, not submission. You hold your composure. You make eye contact, and you speak like a man who's already accepted that the truth won't destroy him. Because when you're grounded in strength, her guilt has nowhere left to run. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal all 6 phrases, from the first gentle observation that disarms her defenses, to the final line that opens the door for total confession. Stay focused. Every word counts. This is where it begins. Not with accusation, but with observation. You're not saying, I think you're cheating. So you're saying, I see something's changed. And that's the difference between chaos and control. When you say these words, you trigger something psychologists call cognitive dissonance. The silent war inside her mind between what she believes and what she feels. She believes she's hiding it well. But you've just shown her that the mask is slipping. Her body will react before her mind does, maybe a flinch, a pause, a defensive laugh. Watch for that. That's the first crack in the wall. You're not confronting her, you're observing her. That calm tone, almost gentle, makes her feel safe but also exposed. It's a paradox. She can't escape. You've just told her, I'm aware, but I'm not angry. And that terrifies her because she expected rage, not composure. Most men fail here because they attack too soon. They explode, demand answers, turn the moment into a battlefield. But a woman who's guilty thrives on your anger. It lets her flip the script, paint herself as the victim and you as the unstable one. Your composure is her kryptonite. So when you say, I've noticed you've been different lately and I'm worried about us, you're doing 2 things at once. You're expressing concern, which appeals to her empathy, and you're implying awareness, which awakens her guilt. You've just placed her in a psychological dilemma. If she denies it too strongly, it looks forced. If she stays quiet, the silence becomes its own confession. Either way, you've won the ground of truth without raising your voice. Let me tell you this, the most powerful men don't seek proof. They create presence. You don't need to check her phone when your energy already tells her that you see through her. You don't need to accuse her when your words make her question her own lies. In that moment, your calm observation becomes a mirror she can't look away from. And if you stay steady, no emotion, no accusation, just quiet certainty, she'll start to feel something she hasn't felt in a long time. The weight of what she's done. That's the first step toward confession. Now you've planted the seed. Next, we'll take it deeper with a phrase that reaches straight into her guilt and makes her conscience speak louder than her fear. Now that you've cracked the surface, it's time to go deeper, not into accusation, but into emotion. This phrase doesn't talk about lies or betrayal. It talks about burden. Because guilt is heavy, brother. It leaks into her body, her tone, her sleep, her silence. You don't have to see the evidence, you can feel it. When you say this line, something powerful happens in her brain. It activates what psychologists call empathic reflection. You're mirroring her internal state, showing her that you sense the weight she's been carrying. That simple recognition disarms her because it sounds like compassion, not confrontation. It's the difference between saying you did something wrong and saying, I can see you're in pain. And here's where it gets fascinating. Guilt doesn't survive well under empathy. A woman who's been hiding something expects to be attacked, not understood. But when you give her calm, understanding, her defenses begin to melt. The body language changes, the eyes soften, the shoulders drop, maybe a sigh escapes. That's not relief, that's surrender. You're no longer her enemy. You've just positioned yourself as her mirror. And when she feels safe enough to look into that mirror, the truth starts whispering inside her. Remember, the phrase is affecting both of us. Those 4 words are crucial. They shift the focus from her secret to your shared connection. You're not talking about blame, you're talking about consequence. You're reminding her that her silence is already rewriting your relationship, that her guilt is poisoning something she once claimed to value. Here's the paradox. You're holding her accountable without saying a single judgmental word. You're making her confront her actions through empathy, not aggression. Most men don't understand this level of control. They think power is loud. But in psychology, the quiet man with clarity holds the room because silence, when paired with presence, becomes unbearable to the guilty. So hold your tone steady. Keep your voice low, calm, almost tired, like a man who's not trying to win, but to understand. This phrase doesn't demand confession. It creates the emotional tension that invites it. And in that tension, the truth starts to vibrate, waiting for the moment to escape. Stay patient. You've moved from observation to emotional exposure. The next phrase will open the door even wider, where empathy meets accountability, and her guilt starts turning into a desperate need to speak. This is the moment when the tone shifts from gentle awareness to quiet alliance. You're no longer just noticing her changes. You're extending a hand across the emotional battlefield. Most men don't realize how powerful this phrase is. It sounds simple, almost harmless, but beneath it lies a deep psychological lever. Forgiveness. You're giving her permission to be human before she even confesses. And for a woman living with guilt, that's a storm she can't contain. When you say, I know something's been bothering you, you validate her emotional state without defining it. You're saying, I see you suffering, not, I know your secret. That distinction matters because it opens a safe doorway instead of building a wall. She doesn't have to defend, explain, or lie. She just has to feel seen. The second part, I'm here when you're ready to talk, is where the psychology turns surgical. You're planting a seed in her mind, the idea that confession equals relief. You've removed the threat of punishment and replaced it with safety. That safety paradoxically becomes unbearable for someone carrying deceit. Think about it. A guilty conscience wants 2 things: to hide and to heal by making yourself emotionally available without pressure. You force her guilt to face itself. It's like handing her a mirror made of silence. And every time she avoids your eyes, she's reminded that she's the one keeping the truth alive, not you. The signs you'll see: small involuntary tells, a deep breath before she answers, a flicker of moisture in her eyes, the shoulders turning slightly inward, a body trying to protect the secret that the soul is ready to release. Don't rush that moment, let it stretch. Silence is your ally now. The key is consistency. Keep your energy calm, your posture steady, your tone sincere. Don't chase the confession, invite it. When she finally speaks, it won't be because you forced her. It will be because the weight became too heavy to carry in front of your calmness. This phrase isn't about strategy, it's about mastery. Emotional, psychological, masculine mastery. The ability to face betrayal without losing your center. Stay still. Let her guilt do the work. Next, we move to phrase number 4, where you confront the distance she's been trying to ignore and make her see what you already know. This one cuts quietly, but deep. It's not an accusation, it's a mirror. You're not asking her why she's different. You're simply reflecting the emotional distance that already exists. And for a woman hiding something, that reflection burns. When you say, I feel like we've been distant lately, you're not pointing fingers. You're describing a shared disconnection, a space she helped create but refuses to acknowledge. It forces her to sit in that silence and recognize what she's been trying to escape, that she's no longer present. Here's the power behind it. You're shifting the conversation from facts to feelings. Facts can be denied. Feelings can't. She can argue with your suspicions, but she can't argue with the emptiness between you. And the moment you name it, her body will react. Maybe a nervous laugh, a sigh, or a sudden defensiveness. Those are guilt's fingerprints. You see, emotional distance is the first symptom of betrayal. Before the lies, before the secrecy comes withdrawal. And when you name that distance out loud, you're not just calling out a behavior, you're exposing the emotional vacuum she's been trying to normalize. The beauty of this phrase is its calmness. You're not begging for closeness, you're observing. It's gone. That quiet awareness unsettles her because it removes her control. She wanted you to feel uncertain, confused, maybe even paranoid. But instead, you've turned awareness into power. A man who can describe the distance without anger is a man she can't manipulate because anger gives her a role. The role of the victim. Calm honesty gives her nowhere to hide. And here's what happens next. Inside her mind. The guilt grows louder. She starts replaying moments. The text she hid, the lie she told, the time she turned away in bed. You've lit a light in the dark corridor of her conscience, and now she has to face it. You might not see the confession right away, but you've set the trap of truth. The next time you sit beside her, the silence will feel heavier. Every word she avoids will echo louder. Stay grounded, brother. This is not about winning an argument. It's about reclaiming your awareness, the one thing a liar can't steal. Next, we'll go deeper with Fraza. Number 5, the moment where morality, fear, and love collide, and her heart begins to break under the truth she can no longer deny. Now we move from awareness to accountability, not through anger, but through value. This phrase doesn't accuse her of betrayal. It reminds her what's at stake. It's not about guilt anymore. It's about loss. When you say this line, say it slowly. Let every word carry weight. This relationship means everything to me. Those words hit the moral core of anyone who's ever loved and lied at the same time. Because no matter how far she's gone, part of her still wants to believe she's a good person. And now you've made her face the contradiction, her actions versus her self-image. Psychologists call this the ethical fracture. It's the mental collision between someone's moral identity and their behavior. That fracture is what breaks people down from the inside. Your calm honesty turns that fracture into a mirror. She sees the woman she wanted to be and the one she's become. Then comes the second half of the line. I'm afraid we're losing it. That's where her defenses crumble. You're not blaming. You're grieving. You're saying, I value what we built more than my pride. And that hits harder than anger ever could, because anger challenges her ego. Fear of loss challenges her conscience. In that moment, her mind starts racing. She'll picture the good memories, the laughter, the nights you shared, the trust that used to be sacred. Those images collide with the secret she's hiding, and guilt begins to rot the story she's been telling herself. You might see her deflect. Maybe she'll say, you're overthinking, or we're just stressed. Don't chase the denial. Let it sit there, because even as she says it, she'll feel the distance between her words and her truth. That distance is where the confession begins. Here's the thing, brother. When you express fear instead of fury, you awaken her humanity. You remind her that love isn't something to exploit. It's something to lose. And while she might not break right away, this is the point where her guilt becomes unbearable. You've made her face the moral cost of what she's done. Stay patient. Stay still. Because the next phrase, the final one, isn't just a question. It's the door to the truth itself. Next phrase, number 6. I love you enough to face any truth you need to tell. The moment where love meets honesty and everything she's been hiding comes to the surface. This is the end game. The point where you stop chasing answers and start inviting honesty. It's the line that separates men who react from men who rise. Because this isn't just a sentence, it's a signal. It tells her, you no longer have to hide, but you also can't escape. When you say, I love you enough to face any truth you need to tell, you're removing the last shield. She has fear. Guilt can hide behind denial, but fear can't survive in the presence of love mixed with strength. You're offering emotional safety, but without weakness. You're not saying, it's okay that you hurt me. You're saying, I'm strong enough to know and calm enough to stay grounded in the truth. Psychologically, this phrase works because it reverses the power dynamic. She's been controlling the truth, but now you control the atmosphere. You create a space where her lies lose oxygen. Her mind begins to spiral. What if he already knows? What if this is the moment that internal panic mixed with relief is what cracks the final wall? You'll often see a physical shift. Her breathing changes. Her eyes fill with moisture. Her body softens. That's not manipulation working. That's guilt surrendering. You've given her what no confrontation ever could. Permission to stop pretending. Understand this. Confession isn't a victory dance. It's a release for both of you. When she finally speaks, she's not giving you information. She's acknowledging your strength. She's realizing that you didn't need to raise your voice, search her phone, or prove anything. You became the truth she could no longer avoid, and maybe she won't say everything at once. Maybe it'll come in fragments, tears, pauses, pieces of sentences that don't quite form a story yet. Don't interrupt. Don't react. Let the silence hold her accountable. The truth doesn't need interrogation. It just needs space. Here's the Stoic truth behind this phrase. Real strength isn't in forcing confession. It's in creating peace so heavy that lies can't survive inside it. You're not trying to win her back. You're reclaiming your clarity. Whether she admits everything or not, you'll walk away with your integrity intact. Because when you can say, I love you enough to face any truth, what you're really saying is, my peace matters more than your deception. And that, brother, is the moment she realizes she's no longer in control. You are. By now, you understand confessions don't happen all at once. They unfold in layers like cracks, spreading through glass. They unfold. Each phrase you've spoken wasn't a weapon of confrontation. It was a mirror. And one by one, those mirrors forced her to face the reflection she's been running from. The first phrase showed her, you see the change. The second made her feel the weight of her secret. The third offered safety, where fear once lived. The fourth exposed the distance she tried to ignore. The fifth reminded her of what she stands to lose. And the final phrase, the one rooted in love and composure, opened the door to truth. But here's what most men never grasp. The goal isn't to make her confess. The goal is to restore your power, your clarity, your calm, safety. When you master emotional stillness, she no longer holds the upper hand. Her lies can't manipulate you. Her silence can't control you. And her guilt can't break you. You see, brother, betrayal feeds on reaction. Every time you explode, argue, or beg, you feed the illusion that she's still in control. But when you stand calm, when you observe instead of accuse, you flip the script. You become the man she can't lie to because your presence itself demands honesty. And if she finally admits it, let her speak. Don't interrupt. Don't lecture. Just listen. Because that's when you'll see the truth for what it is. Not just her. Confession, but your awakening. Maybe the marriage survives, maybe it doesn't. But survival isn't the point. Clarity is. Once the truth is out, peace returns. And peace, my friend, is worth more than loyalty built on lies. If you've been through this, you already know truth doesn't just free her, it frees you. It ends the guessing, the sleepless nights, the overthinking. It gives you the one thing every betrayed man deserves: closure with dignity. So remember this final lesson. Don't chase the truth. Invite it. Create the silence that exposes it. And when it arrives, face it like a man who knows his worth doesn't depend on someone else's integrity. Because in the end, you don't need her confession to validate your intuition. You already knew. You just needed to remember who you are. Now, if this message resonated with you, share it. Someone out there needs to hear these words before they lose themselves, trying to hold on to someone who's already gone. You deserve honesty and peace that doesn't lie.